Wait, what are you gonna ask me?
I'm not gonna tell you. Welcome to this week's episode of the 3-Point Play. This week's sports focus, Monopolies in the NBA. We're discussing how the Warriors and the Cavs seem to have this dominance in the NBA, and I think it's pretty safe to say. I always have to the left of me the amazing Aaron, and to the right, the legendary Jordan. Jordan, we're seeing a lot of lopsidedness in the NBA this year, especially from the Warriors and Cavs. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Obviously, I don't like it. I don't know who would like it.
What do you mean, why don't you like it?
Just so there can be primetime games every night?
That sounds like a pretty good deal.
I mean, yeah, for TV it's good. But not for me.
No? What are you trying to look at? What are you trying to get out of the NBA when you watch every night?
I don't want everyone to predict that these two teams are going to make it every single year. I want to see competition.
Okay.
Obviously, if you're going to have the best team, if everyone's going to claim that they're the best team, other teams will come in and give it their best.
Right.
Give all their energy out on these two teams, Cavs and the Warriors.
Okay.
So that will make it for a great game. But then again, everyone's just predicting Warriors versus Cavs finals. That's it. Like, why even have a season?
Okay. So that's what we've been hearing a lot of, actually, is that what's the point of the season? Because you have the Warriors and Cavs. It's definitely not like football where we go into every season. We honestly don't know who's going to be there at the end. Aaron, what do you think about this stuff?
I think this whole Monopoly thing isn't that big of a deal because you have to remember something. Ever since LeBron came into the league, he's always expected to be championship or bust for the most part of his career.
Okay.
And there's always that player every 10 years or so that's always going to be in that label, that championship or bust label.
Yep.
So the fact that you have these two teams with Kevin Durant / Steph Curry in their respect against LeBron James in his own respect, having those two teams of theirs always being the top favorite, it shouldn't be a ridiculous thing because even like it started back in the 80s like Magic versus Bird.
Right.
Those guys dominated their conferences respectively and they were always there in the 80s in the finals. They were there like 8 times.
Yeah, so this isn't necessarily new, I would say.
It's definitely not new, but you also have to remember that it's also better for like television because everybody's going to want to watch like the best team lose even though they won't. They're going to win.
And another point we can make is that because we have the Warriors and Cavs playing, every other team wants to dethrone them. They want to take them down every night. So you're seeing a very high level of basketball anytime they play.
It's for bragging rights.
They still blow out some teams like our Knicks, but
oh my god!
And they're going to do it next week when they play the Warriors. But look at what Memphis did to the Golden State Warriors last night. Perfect example of watching a team play their hearts out just to beat the Golden State Warriors.
And look what the Lakers did a months
ago. Exactly. And I think something to take note of is you mentioned how we always see these players. So we had Kobe, we had Jordan, we had Magic and Bird. We always kind of know
there's going to be a guy or two to run their conference.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that for most years we can say that the top 4 teams likely going to be in the finals
or conference
or in the conference finals. There's been the upsets with Dallas and Detroit, but I don't know if it's that much different.
Well, let me just say, I don't know how. The Lakers are like the Cryptors. Lakers are like the Warriors' kryptonite. I don't know how. They just keep winning them, beating them every time.
Yeah.
And I actually don't think it's so lopsided in the West because, the Rockets could beat them, I think. The Spurs could beat them.
Really? So you don't think the Warriors are actually that good in their conference?
They are.
That far ahead of the rest of them.
That far ahead. And if the Lakers versus them in the playoffs, Warriors would lose.
Oh, you have the Clippers this year who are playing extremely well.
Yeah, but
they've been on a downside recently.
That's true. They got trounced by them. A couple nights ago.
You also have the fact the games, that doubleheader when it was Cavs, Knicks, Warriors, Clippers.
Yeah.
The road teams dominated on the road.
Yeah, well,
Cavs and Warriors
those are the road teams though.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think definitely in the West has always been. I mean, for the past, I'd say 5-6 years, it's been like the beast in terms of the two East versus West.
But it always flip-flops every 10 years.
It's not the East's fault. The East has LeBron James.
It's one guy though.
It's enough.
If we had the Spurs in the East, I think it'd be a very different story.
No, LeBron would still come out on top in the East.
I'm not saying that he wouldn't, but But having that competition, that's really where the argument should go. Is the lack of depth in the East?
Why?
Really?
They have great teams.
Yeah, but like
Who?
You have the Hawks.
second best team is Toronto, and Toronto's
Toronto?
great, but Toronto is not the Spurs or the Clippers.
Yeah,
So
but
what?
this is similar to like the '90s
They-
when Jordan went up against the West. The West was nothing compared to the Bulls.
I know, but having this lopsidedness then leads you to say, oh, it's a monopoly, and I think it's pretty fair for Jordan to say that it's not really the West, that it's not really the Warriors versus the Cavs. It's really because, yes, the Warriors are the best in their class in that conference, but those other teams can definitely upset them. There's no one that's upsetting the Cavs.
No, not at this time.
So I think that's really what the argument should be. Then it's the lack of.
So is it the owner's fault?
It's not the owner's fault. It's just the lack of balance in the two conferences. And like you said, it flips every few years or decades. And I'm sure the East will go back, and the Knicks will be number one. But but I think that's what it really comes down to. It's not really a monopoly. It's just where the balance of power is now. It sometimes seems that way.
Agreed.
And also the fact that Chris Paul didn't go to the Lakers.
You can blame David Stern. Actually, you can't. It was apparently the owners that said they shouldn't allow that trade to go through. It wasn't David Stern, which was interesting. Anyways, I think that
he was owning the Hornets at the time, though.
He was controlling them, but the control was really coming from the other 29 owners.
Got it.
Yeah, so just food for thought. Anyways, as always, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, follow us on Twitter, and let us know. Do you think that the Warriors-Cavs monopoly is really that impacting on the league? Thank you. Have a good night.